Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. It is a beautiful May 30th at around 6:30 p.m. while I'm recording this. And this is episode 54 of this show, and we're going to be going over the Orioles 2-1 victory over the Chicago White Sox in Game 1 of this 3-game weekend series. The Orioles went out there today. Game got moved up a little bit earlier than when the game was supposed to be played. As of right, now, before the game got moved this morning, the Orioles game would have been probably in the first or second inning right now. But the game did get pushed 3 hours early because of some rain that was going to happen later on in the day. So instead of remaking the game tomorrow or having a doubleheader, we are just they just ended up playing the game a few hours early, so it worked out pretty well there. The Orioles got a big 2-1 win over the White Sox. Obviously, it is the White Sox, and my expectations going into the series were that we were going to sweep this team and show that the talent that we have is far superior than theirs. And at the bare minimum, winning two or three in the series, and obviously winning the series. And we took Game 1 in the series, and all we got to do is win one of the next 2 to win the series. But hopefully we can win the next 2 games and get the sweep, because that's going to be a very good way to really kickstart everything else moving forward as we try and come back from this deficit that we are in. This is the Orioles' 20th win of the season, so a little bit of a milestone there. The offense didn't really do anything special. It was a 2-1 win. They in the 7th inning, they went out there and got the big hits. In the 6th inning, they went out there and got the big hits that ended up scoring the runs. And then the Orioles pitching was phenomenal this game all around. Zach Eflin went 7 innings scoreless in this game. And Felix Bautista in the 9th inning was going for the save. It got a little bit close, got a little bit tense. We let a couple base runners on from walks and hits. Let up a run, and then but he was able to close out the game and get the job done. So again, the Orioles get a huge 2-1 win, 20th win of the season. And obviously every start, when you're trying to start a big streak of games, and when you're trying to start, things going in the right direction for your team, it all's going to start with getting that one win, and hopefully this can be the start of something great with this team moving forward. Obviously, I've said that a lot this year. We'll see if this time, this time is going to be the time, but we'll see. Obviously, the Orioles are expected to win this series, even though both teams are kind of bottom of the barrel within the MLB. Everybody knows that this Orioles talent is just far superior than the White Sox. And they go out there today, very close game, pitchers dueled-like game, and they go out there and get a great win. So before we go over this game and go over the details of this game, I do want to say that there was some news that came out this morning regarding the Orioles, and that was that Cedric Mullins is being sent to the IL, and we did call up Cooper Hummel. Cooper Hummel is this, little bit of an older veteran, outfielder who's bounced around to different teams. I remember last year he played for the Astros for a little bit. So he's a guy who's bounced around different places. So the Orioles do have him called up, and he did actually get to see the field today. Cooper Hummel did. But Cedric Mullins did get put on the IL, which is really unfortunate to see, because this team was about to get a lot of guys back. Obviously, Colton Cowser and Jordan Westburg are going to be coming back very, very soon. I think they've played now 2 games or even 3 games with AAA. I know Colton Cowser had a big 3-hit day, and he also had 3 doubles in that game as well. They were all 3 of the hits were doubles. So Colton Cowser looks to be ready to go and ready for action. Jordan Westbrook should be coming back soon as well. And I think they said that Colton Cowser will be ready to go and ready to be reinstated back to the roster and the lineup once we go on our next road trip. So I think that is the next series that we go on. So Colton Cowser is going to be coming back very, very, very soon. Same thing with Jordan Westburg. And right when we were about to get those guys back and this offense was going to be at almost full power, we go out and lose Cedric Mullins, Cedric Mullins has the most home runs on this team. He also has the most RBIs on this team as well. He's been one of the best Orioles players this season. Obviously, he had an incredible start. He's kind of settled down a little bit, but obviously he's an incredible outfielder and somebody who's been in trade rumors with the Orioles regarding, what we do at the trade deadline this season. So Cedric Mullins is on the IL, but they do expect that Cedric Mullins will be back right after the 10 days is up. So it won't be one of those scenarios where they're on the 10-day IL and then they're there for 20, or like when they're gone for like a month, regarding Tyler O'Neill in this situation, how we put Tyler O'Neill on a 10-day IL list, and then he'll be on there for a month, and we won't see him for a month, and we still haven't seen him, and we still don't really know what's going on with Tyler O'Neill. But at the same time, that signing just seems to not have worked out for the Orioles. Obviously, he is supposed to be an everyday player, but, we'll see what we do with him. We'll see if he gets any time once he comes back. But someone that I know is going to get time when they come back is Colton Cowser and Jordan Westberg. So Colton Cowser's probably, they said, going to play a little bit of center field while Cedric is out, but Cedric should only be gone for the minimum of 10 days that he is going to be gone on the IL list, so it should be nothing too serious. That is what they said, so that is very optimistic and very good to hear that it's nothing too bad for Ced. But again, the Orioles just dealing with injuries again like they have all season. It feels cursed a little bit. You're about to get this team back at full power with Jordan and Colton back, and Cedric just goes out. So it's very unfortunate to see, but hopefully he'll be back ASAP, and he should be back pretty soon. But going over this 2-1 win over the White Sox. Again, this is the 20th win of the season. The Orioles sit at 20-36 on the season, back to being 16 games below 500. So again, slowly but surely trying to crawl themselves out of this hole that they're in. Jackson Holliday was the leadoff guy today. He goes 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts, and he also got hit by a pitch early on in the game. And also going over the offense again, the Orioles had 7 total hits in this game, put up 2 runs, 1-for-5 with runners in scoring position with 6 left on base. So they had opportunities to score runs early on, and they just couldn't really capitalize. But they ended up, doing their job and doing the thing later on in the 6th inning, where they were able to score 2 runs in the 6th, which ended up being the go-ahead runs in this game. So Jackson Holliday goes hitless at leadoff. Adley Rutschman goes 1-for-4. Gunnar Henderson goes 2-for-4. Ryan Mountcastle goes 2-for-3. Cooper Hummel comes in the game, and his first at-bat strikes out. Ryan O'Hearn goes 1-for-4. Ramon Urias goes 0-for-2 with a RBI from a sacrifice fly. Emmanuel Rivera goes 0-for-3. Heston Kjerstad 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts. Dylan Carlson 1-for-2 with a walk. So, a couple multi-hit games there. Only 7 total hits on the day. Again, it was a very slow, very calm day. Nothing too crazy was going on both sides. It kind of was just like a mid-off between the White Sox and the Orioles. Nothing was really going on, but eventually the scoring was able to get broken in the 6th inning when Ramon Urias got a sacrifice fly, and then we were able to bring in the other run as well. A great game for the Orioles. Obviously went out there and did their job. The pitching really won this game for the Orioles. The White Sox also had opportunities to score with runners in scoring position. They went 1-for-7 with 5 guys left on base. So the Orioles went out there and did their job and held these runners on, and really went out there and did their thing. And shout out to the pitching again. They are the sole reason why we won this game, because when you only score 2 runs in a game and you win, you got to shout out the pitching whenever that happens. So about the pitching, Zach Eflin goes out there and has his best game of the season, 100%. Probably the best start by an Orioles pitcher this season, actually, as we combined, throughout this whole season so far. Zach Eflin gets the win. He's 4-2 on the year now. He goes 7 innings, gives up 4 hits, 1 walk, no runs, and has 6 strikeouts in this game. With a 99 pitch count, his ERA goes down to a 4.46. Obviously, Zach Eflin before this game struggled pretty heavily in his previous 2 starts. I think he let up 5 runs in his last start and then 8 runs in the start before. And then before that, obviously, he was excellent. So he had 2 really bad starts in his last 2, but he was able to go out here and really get back on track against the White Sox. That's something that I was saying in my latest episode, was how if there was a team that Zach Eflin could get his mojo back against, it would be this White Sox offense, and Zach Eflin was able to do just that. 7 innings scoreless with 6 strikeouts. Did fantastic in this game. Shout out Zach Eflin. he did his thing. He really won us this game. And then the bullpen came in. Brian Baker did his thing. 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks. And then Felix Bautista goes in there and gets his 9th save of the season. But it was very shaky, and it was very alarming. You know, Felix Bautista has struggled a little bit this year in the times that he's come out in the 9th inning, or even before that. In the appearances that Felix Bautista's had, he has not necessarily done spectacular. Early on in the year, he was lights out, but he really just hasn't been the Felix Bautista that we know and love, the guy who had, I think a 1.3 average a couple of years ago whenever he won Reliever of the Year in the American League. So we know what Felix Bautista is capable of. Obviously, it's been almost 2 years since he's pitched before this season, 600 and something days. So obviously, that does have something to do with it. But Felix Bautista today did struggle, but he does get the save. He does, close it out. It wasn't pretty, but he got it done. He went through 1 inning, got 2 hits, or let up 2 hits, and a walk and a run, and had 2 strikeouts as well. So he let on 3 base runners, let up a run as well. A 29 pitch count in that final inning isn't anything, isn't great, but he got the job done, and that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. So shout out to Felix Bautista. Shout out to this pitching staff as a whole. We only had to use 3 pitchers today. But I do want to highlight the White Sox pitching as well. They also only had to use 3 pitchers, so both teams are going to be at pretty much similar strength moving forward through this series when it comes to the bullpen. Sean Burke went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and a walk and 2 runs and 6 strikeouts. So Sean Burke for the White Sox did good. He did his thing. He tried to keep this team in check. But eventually the White Sox offense just couldn't really get it going all game. The only run they scored was in the 9th inning, and by that time it was too late because Felix Bautista was able to slam the door on this game. Going over to the game tomorrow, this game is going to be at the same time as the game today. It's going to be Davis Martin versus Dean Kramer. Davis Martin has had a pretty solid season so far. 2-5 record isn't great, but a 3.45 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Dean Kramer obviously has not had a great year. 4-5 record, 5.0 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. Dean Kramer's got let up a lot of base runners this season, but he's been able to get through it sometimes. But he's also had the very bad games this year, so it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow. Hopefully, the Orioles again can go out and get that win. If they get the win tomorrow, they'll officially win this series. This will be their first series win in a few weeks. So if they can go out, get the win tomorrow, they get their first series win in a while, and then if they can win tomorrow and win on Sunday, then they can get their first series sweep of the season, where they're actually sweeping the other team instead of them getting swept. So obviously, as I said before, the expectations for this game was that the Orioles should go in here and get the sweep in this series and really show that we're not as bad as the White Sox. We're not on the same tier as the White Sox. Obviously, the records show that we are, but really to go out here and prove that. Today, obviously, I don't think we really went out there and proved that. Again, it was a 2-1 game. Our offense couldn't really get going, and neither could theirs. It was a pitching duel, but we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll see if we can go out and get the win. That's going to be it for this episode of Birds of a Feather. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode. This is episode 54. We are flying through this thing. I'm having a ton of fun doing the show, and thank you guys so much for all the support and appreciation y'all showed. Again, I appreciate it so much. Y'all have no idea. And if you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to follow up on Spotify. Again, I appreciate all the nice comments y'all have left. And we'll have an episode up sometime around the same time tomorrow as well, like I did today. Probably sometime around 6 or 7 o'clock. I'll have an episode up tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out.